Before the world started imploding even more, just the beginning of world implosion, the Indigo Girls were doing a concert at Facebook Live weekly. And for the first 20 minutes of their first concert, it was just two older lesbian folk singers trying to troubleshoot the Facebook Live.
The best.
And it was COVID Lilith fair. It was just their face up here, and they're just is the button on? It is the button. I was I'm in love. I don't need to hear a single Galileo. I need to just see them struggle in this way. It was beautiful.
Did they ever try to faux introduce Tig?
Oh no, but wasn't that so fucking great?
Oh my, that was one of the most. That and Eddie Izzard are two of the best bits I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, Tig is so good, man. I wish
when she was introducing the Indigo Girls for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the Eddie Izzard when he does the.
Yeah.
I don't know the Eddie Izzard one.
Oh, I don't even remember the show, again, with music, but it was just it goes beyond funny. It's just you go into another realm.
Do you know who really appreciates that Eddie Izzard bit you just did, Ian?
Huh.
All of our podcast listeners that don't watch on YouTube.
Get a computer.
We need to hear you describe your movements. So
shaking head.
Right now, I'm rolling my eyes.
Are you moving your head at all, Ian?
Jessie, what's your shirt say?
Yeah, it does.
Queer show.
It's a good shirt, man.
Nice.
I don't know why. What is wrong?
Do you ever think about the people that just like rainbows that aren't gay? And it's just that's
not anymore. Made them gay.
It sucks for them?
Yeah.
They can't like rainbows anymore?
You have to choose one or two, maybe three colors, but rainbow's going to be in the gay land.
You know what? I've always been a big fan of stars and stripes, but...
Not anymore.
No.
What about people that are just normally happy? They can't be gay. They just have to be now just regular happy.
It's funny. Some of the literature in the recovery text that I use for this thing.
Oh, for God's sakes, just say it.
Okay. It's the CIA.
Is that what the A stands for? Anonymous?
Yeah.
Yeah. Caucasians in Anonymous.
Oh, that's terrible.
Because it's written in the 30s, and the word gay is used in the book to mean happy several times. And I've never been in a room where we don't read those chapters and somebody fucking giggles like a 16-year-old. I'm like, oh, this is why we drank, because we can't handle basic fucking etiquette.
Hey, this is Steve with the Punch Up Podcast. With me on this episode are Ian O'Shea.
Hey, Steve.
Kevin Regan.
Hey, how do you do it? Hey, Steve.
Jessie Preisendorfer.
Hey, Steve.
And our storyteller is Betty Smithsonian. Betty, thank you for being here.
Hey, guys.
No, not like that.
No, that's great. That means it's going to be a good story.
Yes.
Okay, so we're assuming that the people that are watching maybe didn't hear the last story, so I shouldn't reference that.
You would be my favorite if you don't, but there are 4 other assholes on this, including myself, that probably will. So
we will.
Whatever happens.
Okay, great. So
Thanks, Magnum.
this is when I'm still, oh my gosh, the fireworks, dude. It's just too much. Okay, this story is, I'm a junior in high school. I'm dating someone named Jason, and we drive down to the Jersey Shore Wildwood for the weekend together.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
To stay where? Did you lie and say, we're staying over somebody else's house and all that?
I'm sure I did. Or maybe we all said we were going to do a thing or be at a space or something. And it was Memorial Day weekend. And I was telling Lisa I was going to tell this story tonight. And she's like, oh, yeah, your anniversary was recently. And that was Memorial Day weekend is the weekend of my whatever this story is. Went down the shore with this dude. I tripped on acid for the first time.
Oh boy.
Ever. Yeah. And it's funny, this guy, Eoin, who's passed away now, he was like my acid mentor. He's like, it'll be great. I've done it like 3 or 4 times. It'd be awesome. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, it's only $5. And I was like, I strangely don't have any money, but I had my guitar and I went to the boardwalk and I played guitar on the boardwalk for money to make $5 to then go buy acid.
What were you playing? Were you playing covers, or do you have some original jams going?
No, I'm sure I was playing like Tom Petty, or I was probably playing the Indigo Girls. I mean, knowing me.
Galileo.
Yeah, I was Galileoing it up.
So Jason's your boyfriend at the time?
So was my boyfriend, but Eoin was another person that was there.
In that crowd, okay.
In that crowd.
Was Jason gay?
I mean, by gay, do you mean like desire or action?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
I just mean like it seems like that happens so much in adolescence as kids are figuring shit out.
Yeah.
And there's so many young women that date gay men and theater or not, or like, it just seems like, was Jason, I don't know. Yeah, like you were an athlete and right?
Yeah.
Right. So I just like, I meant nothing more than like, was Jason, or do you know?
If you're writing Betty's biography, Ian, you're doing a shitty job of note taking. Just a shitty job.
I think that the thing about sexuality is that it is on a spectrum, and that's why I kind of said the thing about like desire and intention and behavior,
Sure.
because I think when you're in high school, identity it's more about like, I don't know.
Yeah, right. And I don't presume that, that you would know what Jason's situation was. I just,
bad decision making, lots of drugs and alcohol. I'm surprised I even fucking survived, let alone like had a moment where I was like, I think I might be gay. Like the fact that was even part of the thing that was going on with me feels,
Yeah.
And like
Were you being physical? Were you being physical at that age?
I'll say this, that my life before this weekend and after seemed, the difference seemed just as besides the fact that now I was hooking up with chicks, I was living what felt like a really crazy out of control experience,
Sure. So in retrospect, I should not have asked this question and just let you tell your story.
No, I think that this is an important part of it. I think that I can't believe that it took me until I was like in college, after college, to kind of deal with the fact that I had so much internalized homophobia, because I was just a fucking mess. I didn't,
I think a lot of us do, because the thought of being gay when I was a kid was just the most horrible thought, because it was such a hard life and there was nobody else like me around. And so it's better to hate gay people, because I hated myself because I didn't want to be gay.
Right.
So.
I mean, absolutely. Yes. And I think part of like the story, at least the story I was telling myself at the time, like, so I went to the shore, tripped on acid, and I made out with a girl. And I remember being like, oh, I need to break up with Jason. Like that was my first thing. Like I need to go contact this guy in whatever way. And I did. I found myself on a phone with him, because he must have given me the number where he was staying. And I said, I can't go into it right now, but I can't see you anymore. And I'll talk to you when we get back to school. Like I literally went down the shore with him, met somebody else, and left the shore with her. And
not the first time that's happened.
Right, exactly.
Where were you staying? Like, did you have a place to stay, or?
I think we may have gotten like a hotel room or something, but he must have been at someone's house because there was a phone there. But it
just lit you up in a whole new way.
Yeah, like I made out with this girl on the beach, and I was like, okay, this is my life now. And I was literally,
I live here.
Yes. I was like, okay, there's this thing. Meanwhile, I'm tripping my fucking face off for the first time ever too. Have you guys?
You just opened a door.
Have you guys ever done acid?
Nope.
Not only have we not, nobody in Wildwood ever had before either. So, I mean, this is just a very unique experience.
Wildwood is pissed right now.
You're giving Wildwood a bad name. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I've done
It's almost as good as
that.
lesbians. Check out the first episode to find out about that.
Oh,
I've done a lot of acid, and I made out with a guy once, and it just didn't do anything. I was just like, oh, okay, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Betty, I gotta ask: did you know her before? Like, was she from your high school and you were with her, or did you meet her?
Yeah, I knew her.
You know her, okay.
Yeah. I knew her. Yeah, I still know her. I mean, it was just like, oh, we made out and she had a boyfriend and I had a boyfriend and she was just like, oh, that's fun. And we were drunk or whatever. And I was like, I think I'm gay. Like immediately, I was just like, I got to break up with my boyfriend. This is like a thing. And I went back to the house to break up with the boyfriend and call him, or I don't know if I broke up with him. I just said, I can't meet back up with you. Like, I don't want to get into it. I'm not going to stay with you this weekend. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to bury the lead, but like, and then at that party, I met another girl.
Whoa.
That girl. Yeah. And then that girl and I hung out all night. And then while I'm tripping my fucking balls off or coming down for the first time, she's drunk. I got to get home, she says. And I can't drive my car. Will you drive me back home? And I'm 16, I have my permit, and I'm tripping balls on, and I get in the fucking car and drive her back to Washington Township.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I remember being like, this is a video game.
You drove 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a video game where you're lucky you didn't lose at least 3 lives.
I cannot believe I survived or didn't kill anybody. Like forget about my fucking white privilege, which is unbelievable, but my fucking luck too.
Yeah.
There was so
Going
many
back
times.
to what you guys said, if it was a video game and you die and go back to a point, what if you went back to a head row point and then it's like you got to go through that again? Like you didn't advance in that level. You have to repeat that. That sucks.
Back to dudes.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
You gotta manually save once in a while.
More cock for you. What a nightmare.
That's
You
so
know, who was watching over you was the Indigo Girls.
Definitely.
That's so good. That is great. Yes, I drove back I drove her back home. And I dated her for a little while.
So you drove her home. Did you stay at her place? Did you go home? Did you go back to the shore?
Yeah, were you like, when you walked up to the door, you're like, so I live here now, right?
Like, did you say one word on the drive back, or were you just like...
It's a good question. I don't fucking remember, but I do remember having to clean her car for some reason. Like maybe we were smoking cigarettes, so
She puked?
I think we drove to my house.
Okay.
And like vacuumed the car, which is like actually a normal first date with a
euphemism?
Yeah.
Jessie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You vacuumed some cars?
Oh, yeah. I have my own vacuum.
Down the shore, when you were like, she was like, I got to get home. You were like, yeah, like you were hooked on her?
Yes. In like 1 second, I was just like, okay, where are we going? What do you need? Do you need a mortgage? I can get a loan. Like it was that like.
I have a car.
Yeah.
I got a car vacuum.
Yeah, seriously. I make lesbians and I have a car vacuum. I just learned about the Indigo Girls. I'm going to kill Jeff Buckley soon. What do you
I just made out with a girl. I got this.
Yeah. I definitely felt, well, I think the thing about acid too is it has like an unbelievable amount of speed in it, or in the beginning, usually.
Speed.
Yeah. As Ian, the other degenerate, knows on the podcast. So it also gives you like, kind of this kind of energy that feels scary. You know, that's why the crash is just so bonkers. But I remember with that specific girl, her dad was a pastor, and there was like a secret about my name. And I don't really remember the details other than she had to call me by a different name because oh, she had to call me like, I think she called me, I forget what the detail was, but it was something.
I feel like you know exactly what she called you, and you're like,
no, it was
Jess, what was your Veronica? Vivian?
Oh,
no,
Vanessa. No.
Vanessa.
No.
Is it Vanessa?
No.
yeah.
no.
No, it was Vanessa. It definitely was Vanessa.
Yeah.
Veronica sounds. Oh, I mean, she
No.
would know.
It was Vanessa.
All right.
Vivian?
Mm-mm.
Ian, I take better notes when I write biographies. It was Vanessa.
All right, Meg.
Vanessa. Jessie, was Vanessa the first girl you were with?
No, Vanessa was the fake name I gave to guys in clubs.
Oh, you went to clubs? Way to brag.
Oh, are you kidding? I was a regular at the. We used to go to the.
The dude drop in?
Yeah, look who's talking, Timothy Leary.
What is the name of the club you went to, Sisters?
We went to the Trop on Arch Street.
Oh yeah, track baby.
Track.
It just closed down.
Yep. We used to go to the bank. Did you ever go to the bank? On 6th.
I didn't go out.
Yeah.
Listen,
Spring Garden.
Yeah, Spring Garden.
I think that time in Wildwood was the last time I fucking went out.
Oh, I was going out all the
That
time.
was the apex. What happened to Jason? How did Jason take it?
Well, so we got back home. The thing was that, like, for some reason I had some weird reputation with some of her friends, which I ended up making out with almost all of them over the next, 6 months. But someone had mentioned me around her parents, so she had to call me by a different name so they didn't know it was me. And I think it was like a version of my name. It was like
Meth.
Beatrice.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with Beatrice tonight.
Yeah, it was something like that. And I remember we went to see Tori Amos together because obviously that's what you do. and even though I was so fucked up and so into this girl at the time, I remember watching Tori Amos and just being like, why is everyone fucking into this? This is such depressing rape music. What the fuck is happening? Do you guys understand that about Tori Amos now?
Yeah.
I
I don't know Tori Amos.
I do. I'm aware.
I don't know how to respond.
It was a lot of that music felt like it wasn't any of the music I was around wasn't like celebration music. It was like,
Right.
I don't know. It was really pathetic.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about all singer-songwriters. I don't like that music.
Yeah.
Huh.
Give me some
You like Brandy Carlisle?
I don't know that, but I like club music and I like Brit pop. Like
Really?
Erasure, Eurythmics, Depeche Mode, those guys.
Yeah.
And
And do you
dance,
like the dance?
dance music. Yeah.
Do you dance to the music?
I used to.
Can we see?
I would kill to see
See.
Jessie dance.
Just a little bit.
I cannot, and I'll tell you why.
Because you turn the air conditioning off and it's too fucking hot.
Go ahead.
and I have boxers on, so I cannot.
So just show us what your arms would do.
I don't even know anymore. Like how do
Jessie, you
Can
know.
I do this?
how do old white ladies dance? I don't know.
Oh, dude.
No,
Yeah.
guys, you're not helping.
No, that's
Yes.
Steve's playing the fucking sideways drums.
Yeah.
He's like,
Right. That's a dance, isn't it?
yeah. Let me, Jessie, listen. Did you meet a lot of dudes in the clubs or were you going to gay clubs?
when I was going out before I was gay. Before I came out, I was always gay. Before I came out, I would
Do
go.
you think you were born gay?
Yeah, because I never liked.
Are you a Gold Star lesbian?
Nope.
Do you guys, do you dudes know what that is?
I've been friends with these guys for 12 years. I don't know what a gold star lesbian is.
A Gold Star, well, Jessie, do you want to tell them or should we tell them at the same time?
Never know pee-pee.
I think that's what it's called. A Gold Star lesbian is when you've never had sex with a guy.
Right.
No.
Like penetrative penis sex.
So I can honestly say, once again, along with the coffee, Gold Star lesbian.
Was that as hard, Betty? Was that as hard to say as it seemed like it was?
Yeah, because as I was saying it, I was like, well, what is sex? What does any of that really mean?
You have to be
Okay.
really.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
true.
to define it because when my friends and I would talk about it, we had to define it because there was a lot of other stuff happening with guys.
Yeah.
So you had to like, how are we going to define it? It's like defining first and second and third base. Like,
Yeah.
because
Right.
when dating girls, first, second, and third base is a little bit different. So
Yeah. It's actually, yeah.
I always thought that was a funny line. I remember when I was younger, people talking about that, like, well, we didn't have sex. We did everything else, but we didn't have sex. I was like, you had sex.
Yeah, that's vast.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot that could be in you did everything?
Yeah.
Except that one thing.
I think that's because
That depends on what your definition of is.
Right. Exactly.
yeah, I think it's because we as like a really intensely patriarchal and heteronormative society, we put this fucking
Cut the feed! Cut the feed!
yeah, we put this ribbon around this kind of sex, and that's what it means. When I think we could change it right now. We could dismantle the system right now.
Let's do it. Let's do what the punch-up version would be.
of what?
I don't know. What are we talking about? Look at my shirt, guys.
The
I
only
had
deal.
sex recently.
Well, I think the thing that's interesting with Eoin, he just admitted that he made out with a dude, and I want to ask him if that was it. That's all you guys did was kiss.
Yeah.
You didn't grab each other. There were no.
High tongue, like, but not even like.
Hold on. What was the
going-
first thing? What was the first thing you said? Did you say hi?
Hi.
High. We were high.
Oh.
Well, let's see. We said hi.
Yeah.
That's a big jump to
High.
You're moving really, really dark, dude.
Concert, polo fields, San Francisco, mushrooms.
I want to take a quick
friend-
moment just to tell Betty and the viewers, Eoin does not know what a haiku is, but he's really trying. Keep going.
It was just that. Like, it was just like, I think, like, to save my own, like, it's interesting. I'm tempted to be like, oh, we were dared, but I don't recall that.
By who? The village people?
No, by mushrooms.
Yeah.
I just don't think I made the first move. I just don't think I was ever that. But like, we were kissing, and it was just kissing, and then it was just like, oh.
Well, Eoin, we have
So
that
now
guy
we can-
here. Bring him in. He's been
There he
here
is.
this whole time.
Oh, that would have been so,
Dude, that would be
so great.
Oh,
Anyone?
oh God.
Out of his shirt.
yeah.
Comedy.
Oh, that's it. What is that? Oh,
He's gone.
Those aren't pillows.
oh my gosh. Anyway, so that was the story. I made out with her. We went back. I drove whacked out on my fucking ass. Drove all the way back home.
That's crazy.
And also, like, there's so many times in my stories. Do you guys have this too? When you like think back to shit you did as a kid, you're like, where the fuck were any adults?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not have any adults. My kids are like, can you brush my hair? I'm like, yes. And what the fuck happened?
Yeah. I'm in
So
everything.
left alone.
Steve, do you have kids?
Yes, they're adult kids now. They're 23 and 21.
And are they both your kids?
They are both my kids.
You've
yes.
had them since they were tiny little.
Yes, Adam birthed them. Well, my wife birthed them, but I was there.
Don't say anything. So, Steve, the question is, are you around and connected to your kids? Were you in a way that you didn't have when you were a kid?
Yes, like Eoin described, like you can't imagine. I was the youngest of 10, and I was.
What?
Yeah.
Youngest of 10? Did your dad ever fucking?
They're still not aware of him.
No. They died not knowing me.
That's not true.
Oh,
Oh, that's so Irish.
Yeah.
It's the most Irish thing you've ever said.
Oh my, 10. Okay, so you had no.
Betty, I had 8 older sisters, thank God.
Yeah.
8. And they were just terrific to me, just watched over me. If it wasn't for them, God knows what would have happened.
Yeah.
He'd have dropped acid and made out with a girl in high school.
Oh, that sounds like crazy town.
No chance. No chance. He took a typing class.
What's crazy is in between these stories, I got caught up. Like I was in rehab 7 times.
Yeah.
Like after junior year, after senior year, I got kicked out of college. I had to go there were big chunks of time where I had no parental. Then there was a 8-week period where I was fucking all parented up, you know?
Right.
Or
did they just throw you in there?
a couple times I was forced to go, and then
Like by law?
No, my mom. Well, I guess no. I mean, before I got kicked out of school, one of the times I was told to go by the school, and one of the times I was told by my parents. But I don't know. I can't remember.
What about your sister? Your sister have issues? Your twin?
Not like that.
No. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Is your sister a junkie?
Well, no, she's not. I think no one in my family's in recovery, but I don't know.
Well, that doesn't.
Yeah, the way you said that
doesn't answer my question.
Yeah, that's a good way to answer the question, isn't it?
Okay. Yep. Fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to get to a certain point where you don't I don't know. Don't you think part of having a problem is like having a little bit of awareness that you have a problem?
Right on, dude. You are like I aspire, like I want what you have, you know?
What the fuck do I have except a super fucking privileged white person's life? I can't believe I even got into rehab 7 times and that I have unbelievable insurance and that nobody was fucking putting me out on the fucking street. Like that I got so lucky.
None of that is your fault or your cause. Like you are what you are. Like you can't take away. All right, we're doing that.
You guys see that?
Yeah, that was great.
No, do it again.
That was that was a great way for me not to touch your heart. Yeah.
Well, I think what you were about to say, the thing that I feel is really, really lucky, and also that I could be motivated by enough pain, I think is part of it, because you might hear it or hear if I told my whole story of like what it was like to drink and drug, you'd be like, oh man, you fucking went through so much shit. Like if I could have kept going, I feel like I would have. I tried enough. You know what I mean? Like there was no virtue. It was a surrender. It was a fucking beat ass hobbling my way into a meeting and being like, is there still a chance I could potentially do more cocaine if I figured out this one problem? Like
now, wait a second. Are you holding?
Yeah, I got some. You need some?
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up.
Cut the feed.
Oh man, you took my third one.
I needed. Come on now. You can't have all 3. Come on.
No wonder I love you.
He doesn't.
We could have stayed up all night, Betty.
You guys are great. I hope that this was educational and interesting.
It was, without a doubt. Yeah. It was fantastic.
I can't wait to hear more of your drug and alcohol stories.
Yes. When Steve told me I needed 2 stories, I was like, there's 1,000 fucking things. What would even be able to be punched up?
I can't believe you remember them. That's thing is.
Yeah, and seriously, come back anytime.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, let's do it again.
Seriously,
I'm ready.
One of the things that's so awesome about you is most of the people who come on the show, like people can tell very, very dark stories, and there are times where we start to go, is this appropriate for us to like interrupt?
Yeah.
Like, it's cathartic for this, but you have just such a nice air about you where you're like, yeah, I'm good. This happens, and here it is, and it makes it easy to interrupt, and I think it's fantastic. So.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I hope it doesn't sound
like cavalier. I don't think so at all. I think honestly, God, I think it feels like you're a person who is in a good place right now. But it's taken you a lot of growth and work to get there, and I think it's awesome. And
it's also very, very encouraging for people.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's cool that you acknowledge your privilege.
I do too.
While you're doing this, because that also shows people that you're kind of self-aware. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I've been going through my head in the last like 10 days since the tear gas, since the fucking, you know, wake up call for me, is that the transformation that needs to happen for me as a white person right now in this moment, it needs to resemble the way I went into that sober experience of being like, okay, I don't want to feel like that anymore, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So whatever that looks like on any given day, a day at a time. Like this kind of like, this phrase keeps going through my mind because it's so overwhelming, the big changes that we all want to make and that we're aware of making, where it's like, this is not going to be an overnight matter. It's going to be an every night matter. It's going to be an everyday matter. Like it can be a little bit, it doesn't have to be like, I'm a different person.
One day at a time, motherfucker.
Yeah, bitch. One gay at a time. Am I right?